I want to do a podcast about films.
I'm not stopping you.
No, with you, you fool.
Oh, so you mean you want us to do a podcast about films?
Yes.
Well, why didn't you say that?
I did. I am.
Well, you can't say films. You need to say movies. It's a more broadly recognised term.
Yeah, don't worry about that now. Are you interested?
Well, we can't just talk about films we like. That would be boring.
Okay, then what about films we don't like?
That sounds even more boring.
Okay, how about this? Films we disagree on.
Ah, intriguing. So one of us likes it, the other one doesn't. And we discuss our opinions on the film?
I think you mean movie.
Yeah, don't worry about that now.
But yeah, that's the gist of it.
All right, I'm in.
Great.
Could still be boring, though.
You're boring.
I don't see how that's relevant.
Should we do one now? Hello and welcome to Movie the Needle, a podcast where two complete amateurs haphazardly dissect a film that one of us likes and one, well, not so much. My name's Simon and I'm joined by my good friend Carl, and we'll be explaining our opposing viewpoints and seeing whether we can movie the needle for one another. This week we are discussing Joaquin Phoenix starring in a Todd Phillips directed 2019 psychological thriller alternative origin story, one of the most iconic cinematic villains. Terrifying clowns and giant staircase ensue. It's Joker! Are we on?
We're on.
We're on. All right, good stuff. How you doing?
Pretty good, thanks. I see you've not taken that job at the coffee shop yet.
No one has, apparently.
Yeah, I know it's
No movement.
Literally
Literally no movement. If they've gone on holiday, if they worked so hard, they need a holiday.
It's never happening, mate.
Bloody Ted. If you are real.
Yeah, imagine if he was real, at least just died.
Oh, I mean, that'd be quite sad.
Yeah.
Do you reckon I'd be able to pick it up at a bit of a bargain, though?
I don't know.
I still fancy an ice cream shop on that corner.
Yeah.
I think it would go down well. It'd go down with me. I'd probably make a loss just on my own eating of the profits, though.
Yeah. Well, you'd be getting it at cost, though, as long as you paid for it at least cost.
Yeah, I suppose.
But, yeah.
I mean, it's something to think about.
How's your movies been going?
I've been watching mainly movies for the podcast because I've been away and just for a weekend. So yeah, I don't think I've seen anything that wasn't something we're going to be talking about soon. I can think of.
I've watched a couple of extras. Watched the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Oh yes,
the
Guy
Ritchie. Which was kind of fun. It was a lot better than that fucking Ruse de Guerre one that he did.
I shrugged. Sorry for the audio listeners. Simon shrugged.
Yeah, I mean that is a more generous reaction than that movie deserves, in my opinion. Massive budget on that Ruse de Guerre. I think it was shit. Anyway, yeah, a lot more fun than that. It was okay. And then last night I watched True Grit.
True Grit. Oh, interesting. First time?
No. I've seen it before.
So
very Coen brothers.
Indeed. So people were listening to the Josh Brolin little video short that we put on Instagram and YouTube and stuff, and they were saying like, "You forgot about True Grit. You missed out True Grit." I was like, "Oh, maybe," but I can't actually remember it. So
well, he only has a cameo in that.
Yeah?
Yeah, he plays the guy they're after, but he doesn't appear until near the end of the film.
Good in it?
He's fine, yeah.
Does he have a tash?
No.
No, it's not for me then.
I don't think so.
Anything else?
I had quite
Just
a lot
those
to
three?
drink by that point.
You
though.
did, right.
No, just those. And then that's as with you, podcast films.
Good stuff. Well, I've been spending the afternoon prior to podcasting, not preparing for the podcast. Well, I have been preparing for the podcast, not just solely preparing for the podcast, but playing laser tag with a bunch of 9-year-olds.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, pretty fun. I say laser tag. It's a very American phraseology, isn't it? Laser tag.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what it's meant to be called.
Well, we used to call it
Paintballing for pussies.
Nice. Yeah.
That's what I'm going to call it.
Yeah, ages 8 and up.
Yeah. So,
It's a pussy, Dad.
but yeah, dominated them, captured the flag like a beast. They didn't know what hit them.
Yeah.
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 Pretty sure that's a win.
Where was it an indoor one?
No, outdoor in the woods.
Oh, nice.
Very good. It's a very good setup.
Yeah, I've done an indoor one and an outdoor one. The outdoor one's
They have adult-sized guns as well. They got little kiddie guns, and then they like where the adults getting involved
with the full weight.
I've never handled a real gun.
No, but like they were made of metal. Yes.
Yeah. So I've now got that thing where you've been keeping your arm in one position for too long, and now it's quite tight, and it's going to be very sore tomorrow.
You're not used to that? No. I thought you'd have loads of practice.
I've built up quite the stamina of one particular motion, but unfortunately this is slightly different. So
yeah, well, that's handy when you're sort of holstered or whatever the term is, but not so good when you're like making a motion to shoot. Exactly. Ironically,
indeed. Yeah. Which one are we talking about? I'm confused. Anyway, I've been doing that. This week though, Carl, we have another game.
Oh, I love a game.
Coming up for you. So this one's on the theme of jokes.
Oh, okay.
I know you like jokes.
Yeah,
I know you like my jokes.
Oh, yeah.
More than anything.
Yeah.
So it's a game that I've called Joker or Choker. It's not that sexual.
Whoa! Where's that come from?
Although there is
anything you want to discuss?
There is a theme to the jokes, which is
sexual violence.
No, just cocks.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Standard stuff.
Yeah. I feel like we haven't made enough cock jokes, so we're making up for it in this one.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So there we go. Any apologies, corrections, or anything from previous weeks?
As usual, probably. Can I remember them? No.
I did get a nice message from a friend of the show, Will, who had listened to one of the more recent episodes with your garlic and garlic mayonnaise. He just sent me a recipe for garlic mayonnaise. I was just giving us hints and tips over how you could not kill yourself with garlic. Yeah. So just garlic to taste.
Garlic to taste, yeah. The problem is that ship had sailed when I immediately bombed everything in at once.
But there you go. Did you put any mustard in? He said a bit of mustard in there as well.
No.
So, I'll send this to you. I should have forwarded it on, really, because you never know. It might be something you want to do again, but with less than 8 bulbs of garlic.
Yeah. Good. Very good.
Good stuff. Should you reveal the beer?
Oh, yeah, let's do the beer. Right, so...
Well, it's very presumptuous of me. I just assume you bring it now. I don't even ask. It's just like, get out.
Are we talking about the beer still?
Still.
This actually was quite difficult to tie this to the movie, which, admittedly, a lot of that is down to lack of preparation.
There's only so much you can find at a local co-op.
And the local co-op it was. So... Bear in mind, we've already had Joker.
Yes, indeed.
Which was slightly annoying.
Why did we have that?
Oh, because I got it in Scotland. Just cause. I think it was for the bracket
only
the tournament episode.
Planned ahead so far that you could have saved that for this one, but oh well, never mind.
So I ended up sort of just tying...
Double Joker?
No, just tying thing. I think it might have actually been double Joker we had.
It was,
would have left Joker on the table. But again, local co-op.
Yeah, you didn't go to Scotland. Lazy bastard.
No. So I've gone for just tie-ins with sort of Gotham City and the vibe of Gotham City. And so I've got a Belfield Lawless Village IPA.
Oh, very good. Nice. Oh, this is in the co-op?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm actually quite impressed.
And then because it's 3...
Oh, the co-op just there?
Yeah, no, the big one. Yeah. And then because it's 3 for $6, I've also got us a bottle of Nightmare Porter, again, to fit
very good.
The dark vibes of Gotham.
Well, as you know, Carl.
Well, you don't like dark beers, as we know, but I'm sure
Force it down.
Yeah, you're sure you'll manfully give it a go.
Yeah, hold on, let me just...
Right, Glassby.
Well, I will if you move it out of the way a little bit. There we go.
Gosh, we need to... We've outgrown this pube, haven't we?
We have. How long till we in the shed?
There's been progress. It's got power. You need to paint the ceiling. And then, we're sort of... we're on the home stretch,
Who needs
certainly.
a painted ceiling? Let's just move in now.
What, like next week when you're on holiday?
We're recording on Wednesday.
Yeah, we could
or
do.
Thursday, this week.
Oh, was that... right.
Probably for off-air discussion, to be honest. People don't really care where we record these, or that we record them at all. But there you go.
All right, okay, so Lawless Village then, let's have a go.
Have you had this brewery before?
I think so. Pleasant.
Gluten-free as well. For those who are intolerant. I mean, to gluten, not just generally.
Yes.
Although you might like it as well.
Yeah.
Rioting this week? Try this beer.
Yeah, very good. pleasant.
Yeah,
Easy
very
going.
good. Thank you. All right, so introducing this week's movie is Joker. Not the Joker, just Joker, by Todd Phillips, 2019.
Was it? Or was it 2017?
2019.
I genuinely don't know.
2019.
Yeah,
Yep,
okay.
2019. So, a quick reminder of our ratings. Simple 5-point scale. We either really don't like it, ambivalent to it, like it, or really like it. So let's just quickly go on the general impressions.
Let's just
quickly go on to those impressions. So I really like this movie, which I'm a bit scared of because I've actually read the reviews on Letterboxd. There is a lot of hatred for this movie, which I'm sure you'll come on to. But I do really like this movie. Carl? Where do you sit? Sorry, I forgot this already. Where do you sit?
I don't like this movie.
Just don't like.
Yeah.
Just don't like.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you might be going for the really don't like.
I probably.
I'll work you there.
No, well, I probably would have said that the first time I watched it. I've seen it before. This time I'm just I don't like.
Okay, good stuff. So what I really like about this film is that I found it a pretty compelling 2 hours, right? With a absolute powerhouse central performance. I think it's quite, and I'm going to be careful with my words here because I don't want you to use them against me. I think it's quite cleverly made. Not to say that it's necessarily an intelligent film, but I don't think it's trying to say loads, but just the way that it is structured and how it kind of subverts the character previously shown is quite interesting and cleverly done for me.
You've played this very well.
Carl, what don't you like?
Oh, Donald Trump, he's a wrong, isn't he?
Well, that's pretty low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky. This I'm sort of honestly not sure. I find the movie sort of a bit unpleasant. I'm not convinced it's anything better than meh, as I alluded to before. I think on first watch I would have gone, this is just bad. There are some decent production things about it that we'll come on to, but I'm not seeing a great work of art here at all, or a great production. If you're more comfortable with that sort of phraseology, I'm sort of really struggling to get into it. So I kind of have more questions than answers, right?
Oh, I won't be able to answer them.
Well, the two I'll be mainly needling you with this episode are who is this movie for? And then slightly tongue-in-cheek, are all comic book movies this dumb?
Okay.
So, there we go.
Right, answers on a postcard. Good stuff. Looking forward to talking about it. All right, let's move on to the cast then. And we can't really start anywhere else apart from the main man himself. It's very dominated by Joaquin Phoenix's character portrayal. Am I saying Joaquin right there? Is it Joaquin? Joaquin?
Well, he's American, isn't he? So it's probably Joaquin.
Sounds a bit like Joker.
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix playing Arthur Fleck / Joker later on in the movie. Spoiler. So yeah, I'll start. You come in whenever you're ready. Anytime. So as I said in the intro, so absolute powerhouse of a performance. Now he did win the Oscar for Best Actor for this. We'll talk about that in a bit. But I thought he did creepy, disturbed, and kind of the tragic side of pathetic kind of, and I mean that in a sort of both ways, I guess, actually. Incredibly well. One thing I just want to lead with as well, a standout part of the film for me, is his running. Fantastic run. It's a brilliant run. Did you notice his run?
No, I did not notice his run.
Top 3 runs for me.
Top 3?
Yep.
Interesting. That suggests the presence of another 2.
Yep. So obviously Tom Cruise in anything he does.
Yeah, fair enough.
Fantastic run.
Yeah. Are you going The Girl Out of Taken?
What?
You going The Girl Out of Taken?
Did she run?
Oh, it's a terrible run. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
They take a piss out of it in Family Guy. And what's
your arms flailing?
Yeah.
The Forrest Gump sprinting run.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Big fan of that run.
Fair play, you've got 3, yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't say top 3 and then not have the other 2. Come on. I haven't ordered them though. Don't ask me to do that. That'd be ridiculous. What's your initial thoughts on Joaquin?
Yeah, he was good. I didn't really think too much of him.
The actor?
The actor, yeah. I've not seen him in loads. Gladiator, I thought he was pretty bad in.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think he's very good in that. I seen him in Walk the Line, and I don't think he's amazing. That's a film I quite like, but I don't think he's amazing.
You do like that? Surprised me.
I do like the film, yeah, but I think he is pretty good here. My problem with him is he's way too old.
Way too old?
Yeah. He's too old for this. Maybe we'll talk some more about that in production, but I totally agree. The pathetic quality that he brings is very convincing. He plays that torture soul very well. I think we'll talk about who else was up for Best Actor later, but just on the face of this performance, it seems a fair old shout.
Well, he's quite old. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, regardless of how old he actually is, he looks way too old in this, I think, for an origin story.
50. Well, yeah, and we'll come on to it. We'll come on to it.
Yeah,
we haven't done that for a while, but we'll come on to it. Yeah, so I thought his ability, I said about him being pathetic, his ability to actually create pathos for what is quite an unsympathetic character, certainly at times, but mostly throughout. And then he manages to completely destroy that. So he creates the pathos and then just snatches it away from the audience. And yeah, I thought it was quite cleverly done. Not really about the acting necessarily. I do want to talk about his method.
I don't really know if I agree with that. It's kind of interesting. I would say I felt for his character pretty much all the way through. I mean, that's a relative term because I was not really very in this film, to be honest with you. My problem with the character actually is elsewhere, but let's leave that for now. His method.
His method, yes. So he was quite thin in this. Not quite Christian Bale, the Machinist thin.
What did he come off? What was he doing before? Was that Walk the Line?
Heroin, I imagine. Looking at no, no, I don't know. I don't know what his immediate film was before that. But let me quickly Google that while you.
If it was Walk the Line, he certainly would have had a bit of weight.
That was 2005.
Oh, it's ages ago. My word, what's happened in those 15 years? 14 years.
He hadn't really come off anything. He played Jesus in Mary Magdalene.
Yeah, fair enough.
You were never really here. 2017, so no, he was just healthy and not working, I guess. But yeah, his method was he was offered a nutritionist, and he said, "Nah, I'll just have an apple a day. Cheers."
The old apple a day.
Yeah, well, he said he actually had lettuce as well, and some steamed green beans.
Oh, lovely!
Fucking fat bastard, anyway. Yeah. Come on, mate, do it properly.
Yeah,
just an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Apparently. I don't think the phrase was just an apple a day. just an apple a day.
Nothing else.
Keeps the doctor away.
Keep the doctor away. Good stuff. Yeah, don't need anything else. So he basically starved himself.
Yeah.
Which I don't like. Generally, I would say, like in this whole, the whole method-y thing where they take it to. It's just like, come on.
Well, it depends. Like method where you are modifying your behaviour in the sense that you are changing how you treat other people in a professional environment is one thing.
Yeah.
So you hear the stories and you go, don't be a dick. Come
on.
Just turn up and do the job.
It's acting, mate.
But that's slightly different though, isn't it? Because that's just prepping for a role. That actually doesn't really affect anyone else.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. I feel like it's obviously not the easy way out. That is probably not very easy, starving yourself and stuff. But come on. There's nicer ways to do it. Why are you trying to... Sure, that's going to have some long-term effects on your health as well.
They'll just take Ozempic these days, won't they?
They'll just what?
Take Ozempic these days.
Ozempic?
Ozempic.
What's Ozempic?
It's... well, I don't think it's supposed to be a weight loss drug. I think it's supposed to do something else, but...
Just make you shit a lot.
People have found out it suppresses your appetite and helps with weight loss. So, like, half of Hollywood's on it, apparently.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that. But yeah, I thought generally... Really liked his performance. I thought he did a lot of things really well. Just some of the quieter moments as well, like when he's playing with playing with the gun that he's got in his lounge and stuff, and then it suddenly goes off, and his reaction to that, it's very, very authentic, and obviously goes on a bit of a journey, the character, and I think he throughout it is nothing less than fully believable throughout for me.
Yeah, he's good. I haven't got anything bad to say about him, really.
Cool. Robert De Niro next.
Yeah, bit meh.
Murray.
Bit meh. I think part of that is the role is very...
It's not a stretch for him, is it?
No, and it's very much like a sort of homage to the King of Comedy,
yes.
The film that he was in.
Yes.
I mean, you did say at the start, like, this movie is like 90% Joaquin Phoenix, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
to a point that when you get to the recasting, yes, it's a bit like, ugh.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's just like, he was fine. The role itself is a bit meh.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he did all right with what he had to do, right? Because the character has to do like two kind of things, right? It has to be that friendly, jovial, late night TV host who's generally just sort of a likable chap, but he also, has to be a bit of a dick, as well, which he pulled off authentically.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, it was fine.
Fine.
Yeah, fine.
He looked quite young for how old he is and how old he's looked in some other films as well. I don't know if that was a
different hairpiece, maybe. Don't know.
He did look a bit less old, but just thought. What about Penny Fleck?
I didn't put her down. Conroy. Yeah, I didn't put her down.
Have you seen her in other things?
No, I don't think so.
So I've seen her in stuff in TV, and she's one of those that sort of plays a variation on a theme, right? Who speaks in kind of the same her voice, I imagine, but it plays the same kind of either like a wistful, wispy. That's not really a description of a thing, but sort of like a little bit spaced out kind of thing, to then like a doting sweet mother thing, and kind of in that realm.
Yeah.
But she's pretty well suited. I mean, this was very much pathetic, but in a different kind of pathetic meaning. Not a lot of pathos being created or sympathy being created for the character.
No.
Intentionally. But yeah, she believable enough as what she was.
Fine. I didn't write it down. I did write down, don't know how you say it, but Zazie Beetz.
Zazie Beetz. Great name, isn't it?
Yeah. I thought she was pretty good. I thought she played
Sophie.
Both sides of her character well. I mean, her character appears as sort of seductive and cool in his dreams.
Yeah.
I thought she was quite good with that. And then obviously very scared in the reality. I thought she was she was pretty good with that. I liked her.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, it does both parts of that very well. Yeah. The only other couple that I've called out, Brett Cullen as Thomas Wayne.
Yeah, I didn't call him out. Bit of a weird one. That. Nothing to do with the actor, but something I'll touch on in production or plot, I think.
And then the only other one was Shea Wiggum.
No, I did obviously notice it was Shea Wiggum.
He's everywhere.
Shea Wiggum.
He must just be constantly doing supporting actor roles in every film.
Yeah.
Like he's always there. He must have to, and he's always opposite really big actors.
Yeah.
As well. Always see him. But he's never anything less than solid.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. I did call out one more. I called out Lee Gill, who played Gary.
Gary, yeah.
Who I thought he was
small part.
Oh, dearie me. So now we've gone with Little People.
No, it wasn't in the movie very much. What's wrong with you?
If that's what we're supposed to say, I apologise. If not, Simon, what would you call them?
I don't see size, Carl.
Hear that? He's not sympathetic to his troubles. He did. I thought that your hairy knee there was waffle licking me, but let it.
No, just my damp knee. Apparently.
Yeah. So just for anybody who doesn't know just how small the pube is, there we go.
Anyway, you were talking about Gary.
Yeah. So he did only have a small part, but I thought he delivered very, very well and stood out a bit for me. So, have you got some recasting? I've got a bit.
A little bit. Difficult. The central role pretty tricky.
Haven't even tried.
No, Heath Ledger would be difficult. Be interesting. See how he went with that version. I thought Adam Driver. I'd quite like to see Adam Driver in something like this that really kind of stretches him.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen him in enough things to know if he's got that in the locker.
No, I don't know. Yeah, I'd quite like to see it because he kind of kept it fairly, fairly safe. But I saw that he was up against Joaquin Phoenix in the Oscars for Marriage Story, which is very good, and he's very good in that. Which got me thinking. I was like, oh, I would quite like to see him in something where he's just completely batshit off the wall kind of thing as well. And obviously the comparisons are there with some of the earlier Scorsese stuff and Taxi Driver. So young De Niro in the role might be interesting as well. Not possible, obviously, because this was made in 2019. But,
You're not having Scorsese's de-aging?
Oh, yeah, that would
Imagine
be...
an 80-year-old Robert De Niro dancing down those steps at the end with a young rubbery face.
I wouldn't mind seeing that. That'd be fine. Just to see him dancing would be good. Originally, they did. Warner Brothers did want Scorsese and DiCaprio for this. Apparently,
Can't see that.
no, be terrible, isn't it?
Yeah, can't see that.
What have you got?
I'm telling a lie. I did actually recast the Joker. I don't know
Joker?
why. I don't know why I thought I didn't.
And
I've got 3 names.
wow, you really okay?
Yeah, I've no
missed
idea.
those
And do
3
you know what? Do
lines.
you know when I said that I didn't do it? I was looking at my notes as well.
Yeah.
So they were right here in front of me.
Interesting.
I've got one that I think's the right answer, and I think you'll jump the gun. So I'll give you... No, I'm not going to... okay, right. So Tobey Maguire is my outside sort of bet.
Wow.
All of these are younger, by the way, because it's an origin story. It needs to be younger.
Well,
Yeah,
origin starts older, though.
Tobey Maguire, sort of wet, pathetic, troubled. I can see that. Casey Affleck.
Oh, he appears again. Well, him and Joaquin are pretty tight, aren't they?
Yeah. But my favourite, Paul Dano.
Paul Dano, the Riddler.
Well, yeah. Let's not talk about that. Yeah, no, Paul Dano. I think for this version of the Joker, I keep saying
Just Joker.
that sort of. I don't think there's anyone else that does pathetic as good as Paul Dano. I don't think.
Could see that.
Snivelling.
Doesn't need to lose weight for it.
No, yeah.
So yeah, it's halfway there, man.
Paul Dano, yeah. I've got a couple from Murray.
Murray, yeah.
One of them is Murray, Bill Murray.
Bill Murray. Okay, yeah.
Because you need.
He would only be able to do Bill Murray though.
Well, yeah, and that's fine. So I'm thinking you need an old guy, sort of affable enough to be a talk show host, but as you pointed out, it's got a bit of snide in him. Oh, well, Bill Murray's got that.
Oh, was he?
The other one is Kurt Russell, friend of the pod.
For fuck's sake. It's going to be that between him and Emily Blunt soon.
Well, Emily Blunt's Sophie, isn't she? So
obviously, yeah. Okay, do you want a game?
I'd love a game.
All right, okay. I'm not sure about this one, so we'll see how it goes.
Okay, right.
So yeah, it was either going to be ha or na, but I thought that's a bit shit. So I went for Joker or Choker. So I'm going to tell you 5 cock-related jokes.
Yep.
And you have to not laugh. Okay? So if you laugh, and you have to be genuine about this, right? You can't just be like, oh no, that's shit.
What does that mean?
Well, like, if you
You
find
just told me I have to not laugh.
Yeah, but like...
But now you're
try
saying
a
be
little
genuine.
bit. Like,
try a little... Right.
just, yeah.
Make your fucking mind up. All right, okay.
So if you laugh, I get a point.
Okay, right, okay.
And no laugh, you get a point.
Yeah, okay, right.
Yeah. So, make it interesting. Let's not have a 5-0. Okay.
I mean, your tiny little mind would be blown if I pull out a card that says I've got a condition right now. I just start... Head goes off. I haven't...
That would be good.
Yeah, I haven't done that.
You should have done that.
Yeah.
Come on, where's your prep?
Yeah. Prep for the game I didn't know was happening.
Yeah. Okay. I went to the doctor the other day, and he told me I have to stop masturbating. I asked him why, and he said, because I'm trying to examine you.
Yeah, that's good. Can't lie.
Excellent, that's one to me. Okay. My penis was in the Guinness Book of World Records, but the librarian told me to take it out.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, heard it before, or variation of. It's a solid.
When I was a child, my uncle used to ejaculate on me. Oh, boy, am I glad to get that off my chest.
Yeah. I think you could have a full house here, mate.
Okay, a woman caught her boyfriend cheating and went to cut his cock off in revenge, but she only managed to cut his thigh. She ended up just getting charged with a misdemeanor.
That's weaker, that one. Yeah, no
Okay.
love there.
Okay, another library one. A man walks into a library and says to the librarian, "Do you have that book for men with small penises?" Librarian looks on a computer and says, "I don't know if it's in yet." The man replies, "Yep, that's the one."
Yeah, very good. 4 out of 5, that's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad.
There we go.
Did you see the high jump guy? Lost because he's got a pole vault, was it?
Yeah.
Did he lose or did he win?
Yeah. I mean, you should get extra points for it, shouldn't you? Yeah. 2 poles.
Yeah, very good.
All right, let's move on to the production. So this is directed by, as Carl reaches for beer number 2, which remind us, what is it?
Nightmare Porter.
By
Hambleton Brewery.
Hambleton. So that's what, York area?
Yeah,
Must be
something
York.
like that.
Not come across them before.
Yeah.
What are we thinking? Predictions?
What, for the porter? Well, I imagine it'll be dark and roasty.
There we go. You heard it first. Okay, so directed by Todd Phillips. You familiar with Todd Phillips?
I've not got an opener.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Pause.
Todd Phillips, then.
Todd Phillips, yes. So, are you familiar with Todd Phillips?
I wasn't.
And his catalogue?
Yeah, well, I saw that it was Todd Phillips. Thought, oh, I've never heard of him. Looked him up. Yeah, looked him up. Oh, Christ, I've just spilled all over myself. Looked him up afterwards. And I was like, oh, yeah, I've seen quite a bit. And I will say this, I'll tip my hand a little bit. It did explain a couple of things for me.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Are you going to go into that now, or you want to wait?
Oh, we can go into it now. So, I was sort of half joking. But I really do want to get your thoughts on who this movie is for.
Ugh, I've not really thought about it.
Well, tell me why you like it. And I don't mean, like... Or maybe the question is, why did you want to see it?
Why did I want to see it? Casting my mind back. I don't know. Well, I like comic book movies generally. I used to. I have done. I do. Good ones. I think I found it interesting that they were doing a bit of a different thing. So I've read some of like the comics and graphic novels of Joker origins, so like the Killing Joke and like Batman Year One and things like that. I'm not sure if the Joker's in that, so apologies, geek fans. But I thought I found it interesting. I like an origin story. Like we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Quite a fan of an origin story.
Yeah.
The fact that DC movies have been absolute fucking garbage as well, I was quite ready for a good one, and so I'd heard kind of good things about it, and so yeah, that's.
Because I don't know. So you sort of answered that in the I like comic book movies.
Yeah, I mean it's not a comic book movie.
This is the thing I'm sort of wrestling
Yeah.
with, because it's like I think you can probably say this only got made because of Heath Ledger's Joker, and that is the perfect storm of Nolan's Batman being wildly successful and popular, and Heath Ledger dying. Because what we're not doing is we're not making an origin story out of Ra's al Ghul or Bane, or going back to the Penguin in the Michael Burton Batman.
But
like
the
that.
Joker is definitely a bigger.
But we're not even doing Harvey Dent, who was also in that movie.
No. But the Joker is a different beast to any of those characters, save maybe.
Well, this is the thing I don't know. Right now, one of the questions was going to be, if you're going to say something like that, was the Joker's different. To which I was going to be. Playfully go. So you're telling me the Joker has got the most interesting origin story, and this is it? Oh dear.
Well, this isn't it. That's the thing.
Okay, right. Oh, that's interesting.
So this isn't it. There's origin story.
Right.
It's not canon, and it's not anything. The name even is not one that appears in the comic books in terms of Arthur Fleck. So that's why it's a complete departure. It's not linked up to any other movies. There was DC Universe movies with the Joker in, and the Batman with your mate in. What's it called? Twilight dude.
Pattinson.
Yeah, Pattinson. And there's no crossover there. They are not going to appear in the same movies. It's completely separate.
Because this is what I couldn't figure out. So, like, if it's not a strictly comic book movie because it doesn't match up to the origin story, are we then definitely wedded to the it's getting made for the Heath Ledger thing? And then the question is, okay, if you're going for that audience, they didn't do much with that. There was a couple of shots that you might see as a bit of an homage to Nolan's Joker, but there wasn't a lot else. The characters were very different, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I think yes, and probably intentionally so. But I think this actually, if we're talking it. So, to answer your original question, right, there's a cynical part that goes, well, you could this film could be written about anyone.
Yeah, anything. Yeah, it doesn't have to be in that cinematic universe.
But to get people to go see it,
yeah,
you slash the Joker on it because of the things you've just said, because Heath Ledger's Joker, Batman, DC, it's a big captive audience, so that automatically gives you a different audience to what you might have made before. Now, I think I'm going to be a bit more generous than that, having read and listened to a bit of what Todd Phillips has talked about.
Oh, allow me to just say why I thought that made a bit more sense. Because I do think it's a bit... I thought it was very dumbed down, this. And I was puzzled as to, well, who's it been made for? Is it a comic book thing I don't know about? Or is it supposed to be linked to Ledger's thing, in which case it's got none of it. It's a very different character. I didn't get it. The reason I say, Todd Phillips makes sense is because when I saw he'd done just basically loads of comedies, I was like, oh, well, yeah, this feels like a screenplay out of a comedy. I know the subject matter is very different, but it is very, very direct. There's not much subtlety in there, I didn't think.
No, I tend to agree, and I think that's what a lot of the hatred coming for it is, almost that it's not.
And here will be no different.
It's not deep enough. It's not interesting enough, and I think it might do both things in that it upsets traditional comic book movie fans because it's not canon and it's not following like the comic books. And then it upsets non-comic book people because it's not. It's basically taking a dumbed down version of a story and putting it right at the top, making $1 billion, and being amazing because it's got DC characters.
Yeah. They're doing it too. They're doing a sequel.
They are, which is going to address one of the three things that would change as well, potentially as well. So we'll talk about that.
Okay.
But yeah, so I don't know if that answered your question or not.
Probably not, but it is an interesting thing that is just floating out there, and I'm still sort of like, yes. It's like you said. It's if it's neither one nor the other, it's upsetting both camps, and it's like, what
this is why when you said like, oh, he's too old for an origin story. It's like, yeah, but he can be as old as you like.
Yeah, because
like completely
it doesn't have to feed into anything. And I get that.
And because it feeds, and we're talking all over the plot, but it doesn't matter. The bits that it does touch on the other Batman-y characters. Bruce Wayne appears in it as a child.
Yeah.
Obviously, Thomas Wayne is there, a different version to what you've seen kind of Thomas Wayne. Okay. Different version of what you've seen of Thomas Wayne in previous. Alfred is in there, not referred to by name, but he's obviously there because you're aware of him. So there are touches on it. I completely lost track of what I was meant to be talking about there because we had the
the little musical interlude.
I've lost it.
It's a weird one because I don't necessarily want to say this is a reason why I don't think it's very good, because I don't think it has to follow on from anything. Like, you should be able to just judge it on its own thing, and it's supposed to be. It's more the question of, but then who is it for? Is it supposed to be a comic book movie, or is it supposed to be aimed at that audience that sort of fell in love with Nolan's Batman or Batman through the Nolan film? And I can't work it out, because that's where I am when I'm watching it. I'm like, I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if this is for me. I don't quite know.
What you could say is that it is for people who are dissatisfied with where that universe and that characters went after Nolan, or since Nolan's movies, and is giving them an alternate option that is, there's a perception or a surface level depth, as it were, where it's going into things that traditional comic book movies necessarily wouldn't go near. So I think it's maybe offering something different, but there's that Venn diagram, like a Venn diagram that overlaps a few different things, and hence probably why, together with Phoenix's performance, why it is the first R-rated movie in history to make $1 billion worldwide.
Yeah, it's wild.
And it cost $55 million to make.
Bargain.
Todd Phillips made approximately $70 million off of this.
Wow.
What
did he do afterwards?
Huge. The second one, I guess. I don't know if he's done anything since. Todd Phillips, you mean?
Yeah. Because you have a success like that, you tend to then
bankroll
get
something
your
else.
pick of whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
right?
just be getting on a ship and going on holiday for
yes.
70 million. Thanks. See you later.
Yeah,
I don't need to work again. Brilliant. Oh,
Yeah.
well, this is my thing that I like doing. Okay, fine. So what else has he done? Nothing.
Yeah, fair enough. He's gone with the cruise option.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But yeah. So back to production. Gotham.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Gotham.
This was definitely one of the stronger bits about the film, I thought. I mean, like I said at the start, I'm not convinced this is a terribly great movie in terms of how well made it is, but how Gotham looks, I think they did a very good job. So it's supposed to be 1981?
Yeah, never stated, but yeah.
Okay. But they very much nail the sort of aesthetic of 70s, 80s New York that you see in those films that were shot in the 70s and 80s. I thought that really delivered.
And I think previously in production section of these episodes, we've said, "Oh, it looks great, doesn't it?" Or it doesn't. It looks shit, and it looks really shit and shitified on purpose.
Yeah, for sure.
But in a really great way. I think.
For sure.
I think it's very cleverly done, and they've used CGI to heavily shitify New York.
Shitify, which coin that phrase.
Yeah, so like altering skylines and stuff, so to make it not recognisably New York, adding all of the graffiti and shit like that.
Yeah,
and I thought it's done really well, really cleverly, really well. Like I watched the Blu-ray extras as I'm now doing, and I was just like, oh. And by the way, Blu-ray extras, they are phoning those in so much.
Yeah.
But remember like when we first started with DVDs coming out, and the extras are just like hours of fascinating alternate
deleted
takes
scenes and documentaries and
now it's just like
commentaries.
you might get an interview, maybe a deleted scene.
Yeah,
that's it. They don't care. They know no one's bothered about it anymore.
Yeah.
I think it's just such like a grim depiction of the city. And now Gotham is always portrayed as a bit of a shithole, right?
Yeah, there's different ways. So you've got Tim Burton's Gothic sort of thing. I would say Nolan's gone for a much more almost hyper-realistic grittiness. Or an exaggerated grittiness almost.
Well, it's also much more modern, isn't it? As
Yeah,
well?
it is. This one is just very dirty and real.
Well, with the piles of garbage and the giant rats.
Yeah. And
which apparently you can see the giant rats,
really
but
good.
I never spotted them.
No, I can't say that I necessarily saw them, but
no giant turtles or anything. That'd be a nice crossover.
Yeah.
But yeah, other things. The score, I thought was good.
I didn't notice it. I saw a few comments.
Well matched.
Did it win the Oscar for Best Score? I think it might have done, because I saw a few comments of people praising the score and slagging it off in equal measure. But honestly, I didn't notice it.
It did win Best Music.
Right.
So yeah. Interestingly though,
It used some pop music though.
I found interestingly at least. Did he use pop music?
Not pop music, but like actual songs, like Send the Clowns.
So what I found interesting, and I don't know how common this is, but the score was written before filming. Okay. And then they used the score to set the mood for actors and things like that. So
I think I've read this before, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And they were they piping it in as they were filming the scenes or something like that?
Yeah.
I'm sure I've read
not
something
come across
like
that before, but probably more my ignorance than anything else. But yeah, definitely seems an interesting way of doing it.
Yeah, for sure.
What did you think to the pacing? 2 hours long? Did it feel long? Did it feel like 2 hours? What?
I thought it felt very one-paced. I wouldn't necessarily say that was slow. It was trudging along, but it did keep going along, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
My production problem, which we've already touched on, is that it is so dumbed down. and I'm talking about that. You could talk about that in plot, but I'm talking about that from the decision of the production to go. How obvious are we going to make it that he's been maligned by society? And
I mean, he's a literal punching bag.
Yeah, the answer is we are going to tell you directly several times, and we're going to show you directly. There's no subtlety in any of this, and I did not like that as a production decision at all. It ends up with being very sort of dumbed down. They even do the hallucination reveal.
Yeah,
and it's like we've already seen him hallucinate.
Yeah, exactly.
A couple of times. We don't need to then see the scenes without her in to show us that, it was all a hallucination.
Exactly, yeah. I don't like it. We've talked about this before. They giving the audience zero credit. And I'm not an intelligent film watcher, as we have covered in depth. But like, if I get it, you're fine, guys. Just bring me in, watch your little film and say, did you get this? And I'll be like, yes, I got that. No, great, we don't need to put this explanatory little scene in then. Interesting you said one paced. So I actually quite liked I was going to say intentionality, that's not a word. Intention? Is it just intention?
I suppose so.
I don't know. Of that, because it is very one paced, but then it's interspersed by these moments of extreme violence and things like that, where it's not, the violence isn't all the time. There are like 2 or 3 bits of it where it becomes quite shocking and effective in a way, but it's interspersed through that very steady pace, not slow, but just steady away. So I quite like that choice. I thought as well there were some really good shots as well. So the giant staircase in New York, I need to find that. The giant staircase thing. And the trudging up the stairs when he's all downtrodden and beaten, and then when he's all basically come out like a butterfly, right, in his full Joker garb, dancing down the stairs, and
I agree.
Doing that quite a nice little juxtaposition. Get me?
No, I agree. The strong point of this movie is definitely how it looks, and that is evident throughout. Just in the sort of the colour palette they're choosing, or whatever the actual phrase is. And like you said, there are some good shots too. There's a couple of good ones out of cars and trains and whatnot. There's some good interior ones, like you've said as well, trudging up the staircase, but also where's the one I feel like he's going through not a tunnel, but like a sort of corridor or something. I can't remember, but it feels quite closed in, and it works. Yeah.
Trope alert.
Pretty good. Go on.
Running through traffic, cars blaring their horns in a chase. Happens a lot.
Yeah.
Just pointing out there.
Yeah, good.
Like to point out a trope. The walking through kitchens. It's just it's one of those. You can make a movie of these tropes, and it wouldn't even look out of place, I don't think. But yeah, that had that right at the start when he was being pursued by the youths. He was pursuing the youths because they'd stolen his sign.
Yeah.
I did quite like that. He wants his sign back. Why would I keep his sign? Well, yeah. Why would you keep his sign?
Well, that's what his boss says to him. You're full of shit.
Yeah. But yeah, on the downtrodden bit and showing it and doing it. Yeah, I do see what you mean, but I did find that in that it was laying it on pretty thick. I get that, but I thought that actually helped a little bit, because it is just like, oh my god, I mean, it really is. He really is just a literal, as I say, a literal punching bag at times with the kids and the wankers in the subway, and then the terrible mother and the mistreatment. And the loss of his social care, and the loss of job and everything. Like, nothing is going his way. It's piling on and piling on. It's piling on.
And I think it's totally fine to enjoy that. I mean, I didn't, because it tends to irk me a little bit. I prefer a bit of subtlety, right? But I totally get more easier going people than I will enjoy it. The bit I sort of reject, really, is the idea that this is a really well-made film. Like, this is a great film. And I'm a bit like, that's sort of where I rally against it, which I know is difficult when I'm supposed to be saying, you're wrong! I guess I'm saying, enjoy it if you want, but it's a bit obvious. But, yeah, fine.
Any more?
I haven't got anything else on production, no.
Alrighty. Okay, let's move things on to the plot. And I just want to start by saying, we could have covered this in production, I suppose. But one of the sort of main criticism, or something, not main criticism, one of the many criticisms I read briefly before this, because I actually went about, we've talked about how do we prepare for these, like do you read stuff as you're doing it and part of preparation. So for this one, what I did is I pretty much prepared in isolation from other reviews and things like that. And it was only right towards the end that I actually looked on Letterboxd. And if you click on the popular reviews within Letterboxd, right, that gets the most that have got the number of likes, right? And they are all bad. Like all the most liked ones are all half a star, 1 star, awful. Which I found a little bit like, oh shit, this is actually like, when you look at the scores, you don't necessarily expect it, I suppose.
I have a bit of a theory on this. We've touched a little bit on this before. I think it is the easiest thing in the world to throw out 5 stars, for fuck's sake. Twice. The production values of this podcast are on the floor, mate. Right. I think it's the easiest thing in the world to throw out 5 stars. And mostly, nobody bats an eyelid because, it's like, well, that's up to you, isn't it? And people who throw out 5 stars generally aren't thinking about it much. They just go in, I like it. So obviously, de facto, it's 5 stars. Are you sure? It's not 4.5 floors? Well, I can't be asked getting into all that. Like, fair enough. So you just, and especially when you see something popular, you go, I quite like that, so I must agree with them. Bang, 5 star. I think that's really easy. I think it's harder to almost rally against that, and people feel like they have to work harder to put their opinion out there. So what you get then is you get people who have really sort of thought about it, and they've gone to the trouble of detailing why they think that. Because a lot of positive reviews just go, it's great.
Yeah.
I would say a high percentage of negative reviews tend to be more reasoned for that reason. And then, by nature of that, then the people who also don't like it, maybe aren't going to write their own review, are more likely to go, yes, fucking hell, somebody agrees with me.
Yeah,
I'm not alone. So I think there's a bit of that going on.
And probably that's even further exacerbated when it's a massively successful movie as well, right?
I mean, we've been joking about how I have been putting off doing Whiplash. Because I am aware of how revered that movie is, and I find it genuinely tiresome to sort of move against that, So we'll get to it at some point.
Change your opinion then. It's fine.
Yeah, I know. We're going to be beaten into going. It's all right.
5.
Yeah, it's all right.
I suppose I liked it. Yeah,
it's all right. 5 stars.
But anyway, one of the main bits that kept coming up was like it's social commentary for dummies, right?
Is that mine?
No, you didn't write anything. I don't think yet, did you?
No, I don't think I did.
I think I just saw your rating. I didn't click on it if you had. So like there is some light social commentary up. I don't think that's its main thing. It's not trying to do the social commentary. It's like there in the background, like the whole welfare thing or lack thereof, the rich abusing the position and the anti-rich thing and all of that. But I think it is primarily just a character. It's trying to be just a character study of a well-known character and doing it in a different, attempting to be interesting way.
That puts me back into that same space of going, well, what are we doing here then? Because if you're not doing social commentary, and I'm aware that I've said the social commentary it does is bad. It's like, there's no pleasing you. I mean, there isn't. But then I'm back to like going, if you're not doing social commentary, we've literally just got Man Go Crazy. And
it's a nice beer.
Yes. And it's like, meh. And then maybe there's something I'm missing, but we've sort of said, yeah, well, it doesn't really follow the origin story in the comics either. So it's not. So it's just what's going on here? Yeah.
So
and that by the way sums me up on the plot.
Okay. Yeah. So what were your thoughts on how much of the whole ending is actually happening? I know none of it's actually happening. It's a movie. But you know what I mean? Like, we've seen his fantasies, both in the when he's on the chat show at the start and the audience, and with Zazie Beetz. How much of that ending, whether it be the talk show, whether it be the mob of him standing on a car, and it's all of his people around him, how much of that is real versus how much of it is just his fantasy in Arkham?
Here we go. What a good question, right? Because I didn't think about any of that. Right?
Sorry, we've switched roles.
No, and I'll tell you why. Because the film had lost me by that point.
Okay.
I just wasn't in it anymore. But here's where the value of talking about the fucking thing comes in. Because that's an interesting question.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't in it, so I just took it to be after the reveal of him having his hallucinations, and then that sort of there's a moment where he sort of flips at that point, and he goes off on his sort of rampage. Where I took it to be, well, that's all happening. We've had his reveal that he's been hallucinating. We've nailed down it's correct, so that's all happening. But that is a very interesting question. Because I'm not saying I'm going to rewatch it, but that would be an interesting element to a rewatch for sure.
Because the end scene is him talking to a psychiatrist in Arkham. It's very much he's not a reliable narrator. We've seen this already.
Yeah.
So therefore, actually, how much of this? And this is where it comes down to. We talked about this before on the podcast.
Look, I'm genuinely excited about that question now.
Okay. But because they're making a sequel now, they're going to answer that question one way or another. So we've touched on this before, but that might become a lot less interesting soon when they release the sequel in October.
No, but it will be an easy way for me to get an answer to the question without having to rewatch Joker and consume the new film at the same time. Yeah, it's interesting that, isn't it? Because if that is a central tenet to your enjoyment of Joker, they're potentially going to step on that a little bit, and they're going to take it. But yeah, I'm very intrigued by that question. Very good, Simon.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was a bit scared about this one, this episode, because I feel like I'd started to progress as a human being and a film reviewer. I thought this was going to really regress me because I would have just been like, it was fun.
No, but there you see, you found another. Did you think that the first time you watched it? Were you like, I wonder how much of this?
No.
Well, there you go. You've unlocked another layer of enjoyment.
Yeah, agreed. The other thing that I wanted to say, that was it. So, back to the origin story side of things with the plot, right? And in the previous versions of Joker in Nolan and various other things, he is almost like a charismatic leader of fellow psychos, right? He is literally front and center, inspiring this group of clowns to fight against a perceived common enemy. I thought it was quite interesting in this that he isn't that in this whatsoever. He has not, through his own volition, done this. It's an accidental thing that's almost like coalesced, right? He did something. He wasn't identified as being that person. He didn't do it for any particular reason, yet then there is this movement that he's almost held on a pedestal for, but he's not done anything intentional, which is why I'm actually quite looking forward to a sequel to see where they do go in that direction, and hopefully they don't piss all over that and start turning him into a criminal mastermind.
Look, fair play, I've got to say again, it's a very good observation. Because and tied into the, who's this for, where's this supposed to be coming from, and where's it supposed to be going, that just completely fell flat with me. I had a similar note down to go like, well, he's deranged, we've got that bit nailed down, but there's very, very little of anything else going with him. So as a criticism, I say he's flat. The story's a bit boring because of that. It is this very one-paced, very one-dimensional thing. There isn't this Machiavellian schemer in there, which he supposedly becomes. So how does this work as an origin story? However, once again, that is a very interesting angle to think about it. If you go, well, it hasn't happened yet, but he has been put on a pedestal. It's just he didn't do it.
No.
So whereas I'm looking at it and going, oh, how's this an origin story? He doesn't do it. It's like, it is. It's just he didn't do it. The people sort of did it, which actually sort of ties back into the social commentary bit as well. So very interesting. Again, I sort of missed that, but it's an interesting note to think about.
I feel like I should stop now while else
imagine if you say something else and you
no, you've heard it.
Out yourself as a complete moron.
I've got more, so let's see. It'll be fun. So we haven't talked about his laughter.
Yeah.
And the source of the laughter. Again, different to other versions of what you've seen.
Yeah.
It's a condition. Did you see the card of when he's handing out what it says?
Yeah.
So what was it? What did it say? Like it's either
I have a condition, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's like this is on the back, Seymour. It's either a mental illness or result of a brain injury. It says, right.
Oh, does it say that on the back of the card? Oh, okay, missed that. Yeah.
And then we learn later that his mum was in a abusive relationship and that he was beaten and had a pretty serious head injury as a child.
Yeah.
So actually that he's not necessarily mentally ill as well as it is. He's got this condition that is this maniacal, uncontrollable laughter, inappropriate times. But actually he's maybe not a complete psycho, and he's maybe not crazy, as it were. And actually it's not just like a natural progression of, oh, he's crazy, therefore he becomes the Joker.
Well, I feel like that would mean he is not necessarily mentally ill in the sense that he's this manic depressive who and that spills over into these dysfunctional behaviours. It is a physical thing that drives these laughing, and actually there and for underneath it that lends itself to him being this more cool, calculating thing. There is a shot early on in the film, I think, where he does the laugh and then walks out of the room and immediately stops laughing and puts like a frown on, which was a bit. See, this is when I was still paying really close attention because it was near the start of the film. That was a bit like, is he putting the laugh on almost or not? Which I thought was quite a neat shot. It just left that little thread of ambiguity hanging there.
Yeah, I think I found it interesting just because it's like, oh no, he's a psycho because he's mentally ill, but actually it's maybe more. No, he has got this maniacal laugh because he's got some sort of physical thing as a result of a brain injury. But actually, it's the conditions and his treatment and stuff which has driven him to reach a point where he's becoming this vengeful thing. So like Murray, his hero, his idol, right, that he's looking up to this whole time, and then he uses him as a punchline on his show. How damaging that could be, and how he's essentially been a victim of his situation to that point, and actually that's almost like the turning point where he goes, that is the one guy that I thought I could rely on, and then he almost goes on this thing of vengeance, and that starts with his mother when he finds out the truth from that side of things. That goes from Murray when he sees him for who he is, in his opinion of it. And when he sees, I guess, the effect that what his act of what was initial kind of self-defense, but turned into hunting down people and killing them in fairly cold blood, that effect that has had on the general populace. Well,
I mean, to your point, you don't even know that he was picked on.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. I've read it actually a bit, which I didn't see this, but I thought it was interesting that apparently it was shown that the guy who'd given him the gun, that they'd agreed that he would sell him a gun, and this was all just like you should take this gun, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll pay you back for it later or whatever. So when he actually goes on that, stabs him in the eye with some scissors and stuff, that is very much like a
double cross him sort of.
Yeah, completely not in lie. He hasn't been mistreated. He hasn't been done by that guy. That is a complete fantasy of his as well, which lends itself maybe to the other route of actually just a bit cray-cray.
You are winning. It's hard to argue against.
Okay, so we move on to any changes.
Just cause.
Oh, do you bring another beer?
Yeah, just because these were what were in my fridge. Do you want a Budvar?
Oh, Budvar. Sure, thanks. Oh, we're mixing these up in a strange order, aren't we?
Yeah.
Style-wise.
Well, I couldn't think of even a tenuous link to Joker for
Original Czech lager, owned by Czech Republic. Brewed in Manchester. No, wait.
There we go.
Good stuff. So yeah, any changes, Carl? So this is where we list up to 3. Doesn't have to be 3, but no more than 3.
I've got 2.
Okay, cool. Do you want to go first?
Yes, please. So, production-wise or plot-wise, there's a bit of both in there. I do want some subtlety. It was enough to annoy me, the on-the-noseness and the thing, which played a big part in taking me out of it. And then, specifically on the character development side of it, I want some scheming. Now, I have to caveat that one now, because there is a lens of which to look at this film where there possibly is some of that scheming hiding around in the background.
Potentially.
But yeah, they were the 2 things that I was watching this and thought were severely lacking, and it just turned me off a bit.
So for me, remove the unnecessary explanation about the fantasies. It was cool. I was looking up that trope website for the thing. It's called Once More with Clarity, which I quite liked.
Yeah.
There was going to be a return of dope on a trope or something along those lines, but there just weren't any really good ones that really called out to me with good names that we could play that game. So maybe next time. The second one was the bathroom dancing. Not for me, Clive.
Which bit was the bathroom dancing?
So it's after he does his murdering in the subway, and then he runs away and he sort of breaks into a bathroom and stuff, and then does like some weird interpretive dance.
Supposedly he sort of like ad-libbed the end scene. So would that mean I think he's
ad-libbed the fair... Not ad-libbed. He does multiple versions of things, and that was one of the versions he did.
Okay, but it was always going to dance.
No, I think he just started doing it, and they were like, "Oh," which does lead me to believe, like, if they wrote a score before, they would have had to find something there which would have fit that.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. It felt a bit weird. Number 3 was, and it's, pretty repetitive of us again.
No,
having a female that's actually involved in the plot. A lack of it. Now, it's very much a Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, you got to give this a little bit of a pass on that.
Yeah, so I think it would be a bit, but which is why I mentioned earlier with the sequel, I'm a bit nervous about it generally. But the one thing is having the old Lady Gaga opposite as Harley Quinn could be interesting, but more likely they will just fuck it up.
Yeah. On your female protagonist, and to your point you made earlier about, arguably this could have been about just any old psycho. Yep. If it's not tapping into either one of the angles we touched on. It would be bloody brilliant to watch a
female Joker
film about a female psycho like this, and not in the sort of guise of, what's her name, the prostitute. Charlize Theron plays a monster.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Because the way that one is portrayed, you're supposed to just like, she's not very well presented. Nobody thinks she's cool. I know there's a little bit of like, oh, she was getting mistreated and she's killing these men, cheating on the husbands and all the rest of it. But it's not a very favourable presentation of her. And maybe there are some films out there and I've just not seen them. But like of an absolute psycho, a real bad bastard, but you're still supposed to be a bit like,
that's
cool.
kinda,
it's kind of cool, isn't it? They've got some real gravitas there.
Can't think of any off the top of my head.
No,
but listeners, good listeners, please do.
Well, it'll be your brother, won't it?
My brother, yeah. A one regular email.
Yeah, come on, Jamie, step up. Now's your time.
Okay, let's finish things off with This Is Why You're Wrong. So this is our closing statement from each of us. So Carl, would you like to go first? Or would you like to go second?
I better go first, really, haven't I?
Go on then.
Get it out of the way. Maybe you're not. You've charmed me. I stand by a lot of... I think this is a bit overhyped for just how smart it is. And I think I agree with some of what you said as very interesting points. You know, I'd have to rewatch it and see if that gives me more enjoyment thinking of those things. I think that would still be the viewer doing a lot of heavy lifting, which is fine. You know, you enjoy the films the way you enjoy them. But in terms of the sort of the critical acclaim this film's received, I'm still not sure it's deserving of that. And that is essentially the thing that took me out. It annoyed me how on the nose it was, that lack of subtlety, and I couldn't quite see where it was coming from. Couldn't tie it in with, well, is it supposed to be this one? Is it an origin story from the comic? I don't, you know. So, yeah, I stand by a lot of that. That annoyed me about it. That took me out of it. But there's definitely a more interesting way to watch this film, as you've described. And I can't say that I'm definitely going to. But if I did find the time to do that, I'd be really interested to have those questions in mind. So it's very difficult to say you're actually wrong.
Oh, good stuff. I'm scared to say anything in case I
in case you fuck it up at the end.
But no, I think I can't say anything new really. I think there is a more interesting movie here than others are giving it credit for. I don't think it's super deep. I don't think it's going to be telling you a message. I agree somewhat in some of the criticism levied at it in terms of, well, it's just it's early Scorsese work done worse, or just done with the Joker. But I think some of that comes down to like, oh yeah, but literally cinema is all about just referencing past things.
There's
and using
very few completely original ideas left.
And I think in terms of originality, I think this is where it gets points from a perspective of its genre, and that it is a bit of a, you've said it before, it kind of, is it this, is it that, is it that? It kind of doesn't fit in anything really, because it's a little bit comic movie origin story, it's a little bit character study of a psychopath and a journey of that could be any old psycho, as we've said, but it would not have made $1 billion if it didn't have a clown-faced character called Joker. So, Carl, big question. Has your needle been moved?
Well, hang on a minute. Have I moved your fucking needle?
No.
No, all right. It's tricky, isn't it?
So you don't like?
I always don't like. Yeah, I mean, I think I'd have to say yes. I can't go up to a like.
Hey, I'll take a meh.
That'd be crazy, yeah.
Ambivalent, sorry, not meh. God,
yeah,
just completely ruined our scale then.
I think I'm so very curious about it now, in a way that I definitely was not at the start. So I think we have to move up. Have to go to.
I mean, I could be talking complete bollocks.
Yeah, you might be. I might actually carve out the time. I watch it again. I go, nah, man, you're fucking way off.
Really don't like.
Yeah, I've gone the other way. No, I think I'll have to come up. I really do. Let's go.
It's been a while. I feel like it's been a while since I've moved a needle.
I'll tell you what, you earned that.
Good stuff. Thank you. Okay, let's go on to the data. So, first of all, some quick ratings. So, IMDb 8.4. Now, this is the bit you're gonna rail against. 83rd best film ever.
Yeah, it's crazy talk. Even with your astute observations, that's silly.
Yeah, it's I would struggle to say it's top 100. I do really like it, but Letterboxd 3.9, so a much more measured approach.
Does seem to be the case.
That is where I read all the vitriol and the hatred. Metascore 59. It does seem very much like a film that would split critics as well. Having a quick little sneaky peek at who gave it the hundreds and the 5s out of 5s. It is the empires of this world who are very geek heavy, love a bit of difference and stuff. And some of the reviews are just like it's made for the adult comic book fan who's railing against the versions that are out, and they want their gritty, real version that isn't thing, and the Zack Snyder lovers will be just creaming in their pants and things like that. So it might fit with that. It was nominated for. Oh, actually, no. Sorry, shit. What did you rate it? Skipped it.
So I haven't re-rated it. My original score was 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll come up a little bit. I'll still struggle to give it much beyond a 2 until I actually rewatch it and give it its due again, maybe. But that's where I am at the moment.
So I originally rated this a 9 out of 10 on initial watch, 4.5.
Before you paid respect to nuance.
Yeah.
They understood, but that's not fair.
I don't know. It could come down a little bit to a 4, but it's up there with the really like. It's
you need to forget about how that sets your score against
I know.
and think about how it sets your score against your other scores.
It's too much effort.
It's your score. It's for you.
That's how I feel about it, but we'll see. Nominated for 11 Oscars in 2020.
Have you got the other
2
nominees up then?
4.
Because he won the actor, didn't he? We said
he did. So he beat out Adam Driver.
Oh, is that the film you talked about, Marriage
Story?
Yeah.
Yep. It beat out, and then for music it won, and it also beat out Leo in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, that's fair enough. This is a much more serious performance.
Yeah. There were some other ones in there. I can't really remember. It didn't win Best Picture. Parasite won that. Have you seen that?
No, still not seen it. It's on my watch list.
Good. I enjoyed that. Probably overall a better film. Adapted screenplay. Oh wait, no, director. It was up for director. Didn't win that. Parasite won that as well. Adapted screenplay. This was an interesting one. Jojo Rabbit won that.
Not seen it. It's on my watch list.
A very un-Oscar-y film, though, I thought.
It's like a World War II satire type thing, isn't it? Yeah. It was a bit against the grain.
Yeah, which I found interesting. I mean, I've watched it, and I was like, we've been over my struggle with satire.
Am I going to like that then, you think? It's on
I
my
think
watch
you might
list,
like it. Yeah, I think you might like it.
Because I've seen very mixed stuff on it, Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult because I know you like satire, but I know you're not a massive fan of Taika Waititi. So, and
he's a bit Taika Waititi, isn't he?
He's a big character in it.
Well, isn't it? Yeah, he's always puts himself in there, doesn't he?
And it didn't win cinematography. 1917.
Fair
you
enough.
Like that, do you?
Yeah, fair enough.
Roger Deakins, he's come up a few times.
He worked
cinematographer
on Bond films.
Bonds, yeah. He did No Country for Old Men, I think.
Yeah, that's what we talked about before. Yeah.
Yep. And lots of other things as well.
So he did that in 1917, or this Deakins?
1917. Yeah.
It did look great, that film.
Interesting little factoid. Yeah, it did. Yeah. Interesting little factoid. Joker is one of only 3 roles that has produced multiple Oscar winners. So Heath Ledger.
Is that true?
Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix.
Factoid, then, is it?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Factoid's not true.
Sorry, I always think that a factoid is a small fact, but you're right. A factoid is a non-fact.
Keep saying it; it'll get in the fucking dictionary.
Well, it'll be in the dictionary already. So Ledger and Phoenix both won Oscars for it. Any idea what another one might be? You might get one of them. I don't think you'll get the other one.
So it's more than 3.
There's those 3. There are 3. So it's 2 more.
Well, you just said
no. Sorry, there's 3 characters.
Yeah.
That have each.
Oh,
won
okay,
an Oscar
right. Because I thought we were going to
people.
have to look at Jack Nicholson's.
No.
Jesus Christ.
No, so there's another film
Okay.
or films
Right.
where the same character has been
character.
played by two people and they've both won Oscars.
Is it a comic book thing?
No.
All right. Oh, that's good.
This is excellent audio.
Yeah. I know. The thing is, we're either going to have to do some editing here, which we're actively trying to avoid, or you're going to have to give me a clue.
Okay, give me a clue. Okay. So there was it's this done by the same director.
I can only think of fucking comic book things. I think of bloody The Hulk, but none of
So two movies done by the same director.
Right, same director, yeah.
They might be two connected movies. They might have even been filmed concurrently or very back to back.
Surely not.
Be very high in the top 100.
No, it can't be.
You like it?
Yeah, it can't be.
Go on.
What am I missing? It can't be that.
What is it?
Who's the actor that's changed between there?
What are you thinking?
No. Hang on, is this a baby?
No.
Is this
a baby?
No,
Don't win.
like
babies
no,
don't win Oscars.
They don't win Oscars. Yeah, no, that wouldn't
Best
work.
baby performance.
I'm thinking The Godfather.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Godfather Part 2.
Yeah, but who
played Vito Corleone?
Oh, that's
Lando and De Niro.
Of course, yes. Yeah.
And then the other one you won't get.
Oh, that's sneaky. That's a flashback.
Yeah. So Rita Moreno and Ariana DeBose was as Anita in West Side Story.
Yeah. No.
Who cares?
No, yeah.
Rewatchability, Carl.
I said no because I didn't say very no. Because I thought it's not a challenging watch at all. So even if you don't like it, and we said it doesn't really drag. It's not. However, I probably could be talked up on that because I've definitely got some cause to rewatch it now.
Yep. I mean, this is all theoretical. You haven't got time to fucking rewatch it. You've got
so I think I'd have to go for a meh on that. I'd have to come up on that as well, I think.
So I'm a yes. It's a solid yes on there because I think it does warrant multiple viewings. I did definitely get more out of it the second time that I watched it than I did the first.
Well, I think it's fair enough.
Best scene?
Nah, didn't have one.
Tricky one, isn't it? I found this quite.
Didn't have one because I was just like, I was not into it. And I even sort of looked up like what people's. I was like,
So one I picked out, I didn't give it a lot of thought. Sorry, I shouldn't admit that. I was when he's in the hospital trying to get the records from the guy who's an actual actor. I can't remember his name, but I quite liked the interplay, and then it was finished by him funny running. Which finished off nicely, running down a corridor.
His running really did not enter my consciousness.
I thought it was a great one.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I went with that. Quote. Any quotes you want to call out?
Yeah, well, so quotes is a difficult one. Again, nothing sprung to mind because I just didn't like it, mate. Now, when I googled it and looked up, you see the list of them, and there are a lot that are in the same sort of vein. And I thought, well, I could pick out any one of these because they do sort of speak to the heart of the film. But they're pretty on the nose, as we've said. And the fact that there were so many of them that were listed annoyed me again when I was reading them because I was like, yeah, we get the fucking point.
So would one of those be the worst part of having a mental illness is people expect you to behave like you don't?
You could have picked any of them. And I did read that one and think, well, yeah, that's quite good. But it was over and over. It's like, yes, I know, we get it. Personally, I thought the smartest one of them was, I hope my death makes more sense than my life.
Yeah, I thought I quite liked that one. Yeah.
And again, to the point we were making earlier, if we just tripped in one or two of those, I could have gone, oh, they're quite smart. As it is, I'm like, oh, for God's sake, yeah, we know.
Yeah, it did hit you over the head a little bit.
Yeah, but that's not actually what I picked.
Oh, okay.
Because when I was reading through them, I did find one that I genuinely enjoyed. It's cheating a bit because it's a bit of a monologue. But it is I think most women look at sex like buying a car. You know, like, can I see myself in this long term? Is it safe? Is it reliable? It's going to kill me. Most guys look at sex like parking a car. We're like, there's a spot. There's another spot. That would work. Oh, I have to pay? Never mind. Handicapped. I hope no one sees us. For that reason. I thought that was very good.
Yeah. So mine is I forgot to punch out. Where he comes back and punches the thing, which again was another one where he just kind of did multiple takes, and that was one of the things
that was the one they went with
that he did.
Fair enough.
I thought it's a genuinely good pun. I mean, it's a genuinely funny line. Favourite character, which I've got Zukov down for, so I've obviously not updated my notes from last movie.
He's that good. He's bled over into another film. You're watching Joker going, I mean, I'm smiling, but I am fucking furious.
This is a really hard one, though, isn't it?
That's what he said when he's looking in the mirror, pulling his mouth.
I'm smiling.
I mean, I'm smiling. I am fucking furious. It's tricky because it is 90% Joker. I picked Sophie because she didn't have much to do. I liked the two sides of the performance that she gave.
I'm sticking with Zukov.
Yeah, fair enough.
Tearjerker.
Meh. I've gone with a better, quote unquote, better film. Makes me feel more for him.
Yeah.
But the actual saddest scene I thought was Gary, his panic and vulnerability in the apartment when Joker stiffs his mate. So yeah, meh. Yeah.
Yeah, I put no. It could be a yes. They could have done some slightly different things to make it him even more sympathetic and feeling for him, I suppose. But no, there were no tears being jerked. Jerker?
No.
No. Very no, I would say.
Well, there's a bit of pornography in there.
Is there?
Yeah, like in his notebook when he's flicking through, you see a bit, but it's not gratuitous.
No, there's nothing in there, is there?
It's just part of the vibe, isn't it?
Yeah. All right, so we went through a few top three potentials here. So obviously there is the top three Joaquin Phoenix. You haven't seen very many Joaquin Phoenix films apparently, so might struggle with that. Three, maybe.
Maybe three, yeah.
Yep. You haven't seen Her, have you?
No.
No, I like that. I liked Her. Ranking your Jokers was another idea. So Jokers
I wasn't allowed Cesar Romero 3 times over.
So I'm guessing, you would have had Heath Ledger, Joaquin Phoenix, and Jack Nicholson plus Caesar Romero, right?
Oh, Romero makes it in. That was my first Batman, for God's sake.
So you've not seen any Jared Leto?
No, I've not. Yeah.
So
have you seen his hissy fit on social media over that?
No, I don't think so.
There was a sort of I don't know whether it was just a Twitter account or whether it was like a Twitter account of an Empire or something like that. I don't think it was Empire, but they tweeted like best Jokers, who's the best to ever do the role, and then they listed like 5 actors, and then he quote tweeted it and went, "Yeah, I played Joker, but fuck me, right?"
Nice.
Just like, yeah, he was like really not happy about it.
It's funny though, because when I was thinking of the recasting, I imagine he hasn't already played Joker.
You know, you think you can for him? He's weird.
Yeah, he would actually be. Like you think, like, oh yeah, Jared, yeah, he could probably do it. He's a bit odd, isn't he? He's a bit, yeah, he could probably do it.
Yeah, probably.
But it's just fucking, it's garbage. So what we have gone for is the top 3 movies that have the character in the title. Now, we are spoilt for choice, Carl. Do you know on IMDb there is a proper filter for this? Character in the title, 44,801 movies.
I did look at a couple of IMDb lists, but I did not know there was a proper filter to generate my own.
Yeah. So I didn't scroll through all of them, and also some of them were a bit like, not really.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? In a way, because I was like, oh, we really shouldn't do that, but then I realised that would have to rule Joker out. The film that we're discussing, because it's not actually his name, is it?
No.
Yeah. So like, you can't have, for instance, I don't think, The Terminator.
Exactly. I was like, Terminator 2 Judgment Day. He's not. He's a Terminator, but
yes. So whilst I
didn't go with it.
Whilst I would honourably mention The Terminator, The Godfather, Top Gun Maverick, and Batman Begins,
nicknames, yeah,
they're not names.
No.
So I've kept it real, mate.
Okay, go on.
Number 3.
Go on.
Donnie Brasco.
Oh yeah, I saw that one come up. I need to watch that / rewatch. I can't remember if I've seen it. I've got a feeling I haven't.
It's good. You going to go for your number 3? It's got Pacino in it. Yeah. It's got Johnny Depp in it.
So I've gone for one you definitely won't have. Captain America: Civil War.
No. Yeah.
I know you won't have.
Is that stretching it a bit in the same?
His name is Captain America. Well, his name is Steve Rogers. Okay, fine. I'll slab one in. Aladdin.
Yeah, that's his name.
There you go.
Yeah. Number 2, a film I've watched recently and gave 5 stars.
Oh, I might remember. Oh, Wall-E. Oh, nice. Yeah, Wall-E was on my potentially one. Pan's Labyrinth. Pan. Is it? Have you seen Pan's Labyrinth?
Long time ago. Long time ago.
I remember it left a lasting impression on me. Very good. Number 1.
You could definitely guess this.
Wait, can I?
Yeah.
Nope.
Oppenheimer.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yep. Yeah, I should have. It was up there. Rocky
Yes.
was mine. So I did this by things that I had reviewed, and these are ones that I gave 10 to. Donnie Darko also could have been up there. Austin Powers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I want to rewatch that. Do you reckon our children are old enough for Austin Powers yet?
Oh, I reckon.
Yeah?
Our eldest love it.
Yeah?
My eldest love it.
Good
Your
stuff.
eldest and only child.
Yes.
Would love it.
He is both my eldest and yours. Sherlock Holmes, the Robert Downey Jr. ones, quite a fan of those.
Yeah, the first one's pretty snappy.
Yep. Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, I suppose so.
It's
Yeah.
got Matt Damon in it, so you fucking hate him.
I like that film.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
Again, not really a name there. That's the thing.
No,
Not
that's
really.
true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Her name. And Amelie. Have you seen Amelie?
It's on my watch list.
Oh, you should watch it. Emma said the other day, right?
I'm excited about
it.
it.
I've seen Amelie. You'd really like
I
Amelie.
think
You should
I
watch
should.
Amelie.
It looks like a film I'll very much like. Yeah.
Good stuff. You got anything else, Carl?
Let's have a quick look because I've closed my notes. And if the answer at this point is no, then what a waste of time this has been.
Put the whole pod.
Not at all. You can't. I've moved on this one. No, I'm good.
Alrighty. Well, that is all we've got. So if we move the needle for you, or even if we didn't, please do rate us, follow, subscribe, wherever you're listening, and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Smoke.
It really does titillate the algorithm and get us out there to larger, more financially stable audience. Our Twitter and Instagram is MTMMoviePod, and you can also find our page on Facebook and TikTok. Details can be found. We are not on TikTok. Why have I written that?
We are on TikTok.
Are we?
Yeah.
We don't do anything on TikTok, though.
Not yet.
No.
But if you keep
I
putting out more stuff, I'll put them on TikTok.
Okay. Have you done those ones?
No, God,
Well,
no.
there we go. So, all details in the show description anyway, and we've also got a YouTube channel that is on there where you can watch and listen. So, from me and Carl, it's goodbye.
Goodbye.
So, I'm off to go try my hand at stand-up comedy. That's the joke.